Hey there, Coach Michael Burt. Let's see what we got going on tonight, guys. Coach Michael Burt. I'm going to check my sound to make sure you can hear me okay. And we're up and going for a Sunday night course tonight on closing and conversion. I'm excited about this course. Let's see if you can hear me okay. About this course. I always have to test this as I did this in Florida 2 or 3 times, and it did not record. So I had to try it a third time. So Coach Michael Burt, Sunday night, as you know, every Sunday night I like to come in here from my home office and bring you a new course. We're moving into a new month in August, and this month is going to be about how do you use the framework of A to B that we've been teaching you around my new book that just came out. I don't know if you've got this yet, but if you haven't gotten it, we're doing a webinar on this Wednesday at 2 p.m. for an hour and a half of me breaking it down. It'd make a whole lot of sense, folks, to get the book because it's such a big structure. And what you're going to see tonight is we're gonna tie in a new thing, which would be from A to B in conversion and closing. So I'm actually going to show you how A to B is important in the closing process. If I've heard it one time, I have heard it 3,700 times, many of those from me, that the one problem so many people have is actually converting interested leads into an action. So I'm going to show you tonight how A to B is both an internal structure for you, and it's actually an external structure for you to help other people get clear on where they're going, and more importantly, help them come to a decision. We live in a world where there's so much fog and indecision, and I can't make a decision. I think it was Churchill that said, the next best thing you can do is make a right decision. The second best thing you could do is make a wrong decision. But the worst thing you could do is to make no decision, to do no thing. So tonight I'm going to show you how to use the book A to B. Like I said, I really want to encourage it. You can get it at our website. Also, I'm doing a webinar at 2 p.m. this coming Wednesday on this. I really want to encourage you to understand the methodology because you think, well, I don't know, I don't need this. The truth is, every one of you are confused. If you had it figured out, you wouldn't be here with us. Okay, you wouldn't need coaching and direction if you're hitting your sales numbers consistently, if you're playing at the level you needed to play at, if you have a higher level but you're not hitting it. If everybody had it figured out, then they wouldn't need coaching. The truth is, they do not have it figured out. So what I'm going to show you tonight is A to B is an internal discussion of being totally honest of where you are, what you're bothered by, and where you are trying to go. If you remember the concept of the guide, the gap, and the journey, is the heroes going on a journey. They're trying to go from A to B, but they cannot get from A to B because they have both internal problems and external problems. And you say, well, Coach, what's internal problems? The internal problem is confidence. An internal problem is confusion. An internal problem is insecurity. An internal problem is I can't convert people. So the hero's going on a journey, but they need a guide. And the guide is you. And you have a simple structure called from A to B. And once you know the B, the dominant buying motive, the dominant aspiration, you are then capable of showing them this is exactly how I would get you from A to B. This is where you're at. This is what you're bothered by. And this is where you're trying to get to. Okay? And I am uniquely qualified based on my unique past and my unique experiences and my unique process to help you move from A to B. Isn't that a cool thing? This is how the sale becomes made. And it's really easy. You initiate. Not enough of that going on, folks. Not enough of that going on. Initiating. Outbound effort. You connect with people. Hey, man, it's great to talk to you. I got one big question for you. What are you trying to do? I call this going from A to B. You're currently at A and you're bothered by something. Tell me what you're bothered by. What keeps you up at night? If I could wave a magic wand and make it go away, what would that be? And they're going to tell you. And then you're going to say, do you mind if I share my beliefs about this? I believe this, I believe this, I believe this. Because of these beliefs, I'm going to make a recommendation. Now, let me tell you why this recommendation matters and why it may be different than what other people have recommended. Let me give you some examples, some other people that we're working with that we're having success with. And then we're going to make an invitation. If I could help you go from A to B and wave my magic wand with my unique process based on my unique past, and I'm a stone cold killer, what would stop you from moving forward with me? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about this? Are we talking, or are we people who talk, or are we people who get into action? Now we're qualifying the commitment. Now, if you notice, if you've been paying attention the last 3 months in our coaching program, we did a whole month on discovery. Then we did a whole month on A to B. Now we're doing closing and conversion, okay? So you will need courage to get good at closing. But you don't start with courage. You start with a commitment. Here's a commitment. Every time I talk to somebody this week, I'm going to track it, number one. I'm going to see how many times I locate the ambition and explain the value. I'm actually going to track how many times I invite a person to take an action, and I'm going to track my closing ratio. I'm going to commit to doing this. Because I commit to doing it, now I got a new courage about me. Because I got a new courage, I learn a new skill. I'm going to dig in and do proper discovery. I'm going to get really good at closing and conversion. And I'll show you what that means in just a second. And I'm going to track it. That says that I'm serious. I'm serious about this. I'm not playing around with my potential. I'm not going to be casual with my potential. I am serious about my potential, and I'm serious about closing, because where there's no closing, there's no money. Okay? So you're going to have the boldness and courage. So remember the 4 C's. I'm giving you a lot of formulas tonight. First, I make a commitment. I'm going to track everything this week. That's going to bring me the courage. Boom. Okay? Then I'm going to learn new capability. Now I'm going to have a lot of confidence. And the more I close people, the more confident I'm going to become. Okay? So this is why A to B is important for you. Okay? I may not always have clarity over where I want to go. I'm getting clearer every day. I am seeing a bigger vision every day. But I do have clarity over my skill set, and I do have clarity over when I'm happiest, and I do have clarity over what's most profitable and most enjoyable, and I do have clarity about what I think I want to go do. Now, if you don't have clarity over your skill set, you're going to have a hard time closing, folks, because you don't believe internally. See, you have internal problems. Confusion, insecurity, doubt, vacillation. It's going to be hard for you to close people when you haven't even closed yourself. See, I have no doubt that I can be one of the best coaches in the world. Zero. Based on 31 years of doing it. Put me in any room in America. Put me in a room with Milet. Put me in a room with Grover. Put me in a room with Cardone. And I can coach my ass off. Okay? Because it's all I've been doing for 31 years. Now, so I have clarity over this, and confidence, and boldness. And I'm trying to transfer it to you to help you make a decision. So, the course we're covering today and this week is conversion and closing. I want to just bring some light to this. The word close means to bring something to an end. It means to bring two things together. The hero is not you. The hero is the person going on the journey. Okay? You're the guide. And you have a simple plan based on your unique past, your unique experiences, your unique ability, your unique process. You're going to bring that simple plan to their confusion, and you're going to help them move from A to B. And the more people you help move from A to B, the more referrals you're actually going to get. Okay? The more people you help move from A to B, the more referrals that you're going to get. Okay? So the word close means to bring something to an end. It means to bring two things together. What you're bringing together is your skill set and your past with their desire for a bigger future. And you're bringing these two things together. You're closing it like a door. Behind me is a door. You're closing the door. And you know why? Because you're bringing these two things together. You're bringing them together. Your past and their future. I'm paying you for your past. You're bringing them together, folks. You're bringing it to an end. It's like, oh my gosh, we've been talking about this. We've been dragging it on. For love of God, can I not get a commitment out of you? Because I can't help you move to B until you commit. So the word conversion means to convert raw material into something. I've got a room at the Greatness Factory that I'm thinking about calling the Dream Foundry. A foundry is a place that converts raw material into something special. Okay, and I'm like, now that is cool. It's a foundry. It converts raw material. See, what you're converting is their interest. They have some knowledge, some desire, some skill, and some confidence. They need you to help get them across the finish line. You're converting raw material. What are you converting? Interest into action. Interest into action. Interest into action. Can't help you till you commit. Once you commit, I've never helped a person who didn't take an action. Okay, I want to do X. I want to do Y. You got to commit to it. Then you get the courage, and you get the capability. Then you get the new confidence. If you never commit, you never get any of the next 3 C's. Okay, so closing and conversion is really a transfer of energy and a transfer of confidence. I have 100% confidence I can move a person from A to B. If they show up, if they grow up, if they check their excuses, if they dig in, if they're hungry, humble, and coachable, 100% confidence, okay? So at the moment of truth, when they go, I'm interested, it's like, all right, let's do it right now. There's no better time than right now. Maxwell wrote a book called Today Matters. Here's what I would say. Right now matters. This minute matters. This moment in time matters. Right now. Let's do it right now. I'm on the phone with you. You're on the phone. You're watching this. I'm delivering it. What would stop you from moving forward with me right now? See, B is a fantasy land if you never take action toward it. See, you live in fantasy land if you never take action toward the B. You fantasize on the weekends about how great your life can be. You draw it up on your notepads. You talk about it to your husband and wife. But guess what you never do, folks? You never take an action toward it. And there's people out there who can help you move from A to B for God's sakes. But why? You talk about it and you think about it and you dream about it. You live in fantasy island, man. What you got to be able to say to another person is, I love you, but I can't help you until you commit to something. Now, you've been on the fence for a long time. I put out tonight that I was going to take some people with me to Atlanta, Georgia. Mastermind. 30,000 feet in the air, going 500 miles an hour on my plane, on my jet. If you've ever wanted a jet, why wouldn't you do it? It's $3,500 to go spend a day. We're going to mastermind, and you're going to get better. Several people reached out to me. One dude said, book it right now. Send me the invoice. I'm in. I've been wanting to mastermind with you anyway. I've been wanting to get on a private jet. See, the other one's going to sit there and think, one of these days when I have enough money, I'm going to fly on a private jet. One of these days when Coach Burt lowers his prices, run some kind of special, I'm going to do it. One dude stepped up and said, I'm in, Coach. Send me the invoice. I want the spot. Okay? So this week, we're going to commit to something. I want you to track these things. Number one, how many times did you initiate an outbound effort? Number one. I want you to post this in a private Facebook group. And if you don't, I'm going to call you out. Okay? Every single member of Monster Producer. I'm tired of playing around with people. If you're going to get serious about your potential, then quit hiding with your cameras off, and quit hiding with not turning things in, and quit not showing up for the Monday calls. For the love of God, folks, don't hire a coach and then not do what the coach is teaching you to do. Okay? I didn't win championships by players not showing up to practice or half-assed doing things. We won it because I was committed and they were committed, and you got to get back to being committed. Okay? So in the private Facebook group, every freaking day this week, I want you to post, how many outbound calls did you make? My team's going to match you. My team's going to match you. They're going to post in the private Facebook group every single freaking day. How many outbound efforts they made. Number two, how many times did you locate their ambition and explain their value? Because you could initiate a phone call and not talk to anybody. You could initiate a phone call and mess around and be in the friend zone. You could make an outbound effort and never, ever locate their ambition and explain the value, okay? Third thing you're going to post is, how many times did you invite a person to take an action? How many times did you invite a person to take an action? Now, I'll close with this. So you're going to post in the Facebook group every day this week by 4:30 p.m., whatever time zone you're on. How many times you initiated, how many times you located the true ambition, how many times you explained the value, how many times you invite them to take an action, okay? Learn to commit to tracking your commitment. It's not a commitment if you don't make it public. When you go to Alcoholics Anonymous, you don't hide in the corner and say, you know what, I got a problem, but I don't want anybody to know. You freaking admit it publicly. Okay? Hey, I'm so-and-so, and I got a problem. Salespeople need to start admitting, look, I sucked at sales last week. I didn't close anything. I didn't make enough phone calls. I didn't locate any ambition, and I didn't convert anybody. I suck and I want to get better. First step is telling the truth about how bad you are right now. So these are the areas I want you to look at. Number one, initiation. Number two, how well do you connect? Number three, how well do you do discovery and locate? That would be finding the A to B. They're at A, get them to tell you the truth. What is their desire to get to B? How strong is that desire? I want you to explain your value in a world-class way, what you believe, why you believe it. I want you to invite an action, and I want you to qualify the commitment. If I sent it to you right now, what would stop you from doing it? I talked to a guy last week. Man, it just pisses me off thinking about it right now. I love you, Coach Burt. I watch you on social media. Oh, my God, I'm a big fan of your work. Yeah, I'm going to sign up. The dude still ain't signed up, man. He still hadn't signed up. So I cannot help him. Watching me on Instagram, it's not going to help him get better. Y'all do realize a 1-minute sizzle reel of capture me in a 45-minute presentation is not going to help you get better. Showing up every week, watching these videos over and over and over, getting your booty to the lodge, getting to the Monster Nation, getting in the masterminds, taking you and your wife on the couples retreats. This is what's going to make you better. You got to quit dabbling with your potential. You got to quit blaming people. You got to quit running around telling people you're broke. You got to freaking do something, okay? I'm going to call the guy as soon as we get off tonight. Sunday night, and I'm going to close him tonight on the Lord's Day. And I did go to church today. So my point is, look, when are you going to get serious about your potential? When are you going to quit messing around? When are you going to decide you're going to play at a higher frequency? When are you going to get committed to pushing to the limits? When are you going to quit dreaming about it on the weekend with pages and pages of notes? And when are you going to get into action? So this week, I want to see every single day. And if we have to email you 47 times to get you to wake up and understand this, put your results in the private Facebook group for public accountability and for you. Fair enough? I'm Coach Burt. Can you tell I'm fired up? I'm tired of watching people suffer when they don't have to. I'm tired of watching people be broke when they don't have to. I'm tired of watching people want things for free. You're never going to get anything of value for free, folks. So pony up and get in the game, for God's sakes, okay? And quit being offended by everything. Let's do this. Let's suck it up and get better. Fair enough? I'm Coach Burt. Let's have a good week.